On the frontier, getting sick was more dangerous than getting lost. There were no hospitals nearby, no quick help, and for wagon trains moving west across hundreds of miles, even a small illness could stop an entire journey. Because once sickness began spreading, control became difficult. Welcome to Frontier History Archive, where we explore frontier history and life at the edge of civilization. For many pioneers traveling west in the 1800s, illness was one of the most feared dangers on the trail. Not because it was rare, but because it was common. Wagon trains brought together dozens of families traveling closely for months at a time. Water sources were shared, living spaces were crowded, cleanliness was difficult to maintain, and disease moved quickly under those conditions. Cholera was among the most serious threats. It spread easily through contaminated water and poor sanitation. Symptoms often appeared suddenly: weakness, dehydration, and severe exhaustion within hours. Travelers feared how fast it worked. Sometimes individuals felt healthy in the morning and were unable to travel by evening. Entire wagon trains recorded sudden outbreaks that changed daily routines immediately. But cholera was not the only concern. Simple infections also created problems. Small cuts could worsen quickly without treatment. Fevers weakened travelers during long days and harsh weather, and exhaustion made recovery slower. The biggest challenge was distance. Medical care was rarely available, supplies were limited, and stopping too long could put the entire group at risk. So families faced difficult decisions constantly: continue traveling or stop and wait. And neither choice was easy. As illness spread through wagon trains, fear often grew faster than the sickness itself. Travelers watched closely for early signs: weakness, fever, or sudden fatigue. A single cough could worry an entire camp. Parents became protective. Conversations grew quieter, because once disease entered a wagon train, controlling it was extremely difficult. Water was one of the biggest dangers. Most trails depended on rivers and streams shared by both people and animals. Contamination happened easily, especially near crowded campsites. Travelers learned through experience which sources were safer, but mistakes still happened. Some wagon leaders changed routines to slow illness. Camps were spaced farther apart. Water sources were inspected more carefully. Meals were prepared cautiously, but prevention was never guaranteed, and sickness created hard decisions. If one family member became too weak to travel, stopping meant delaying everyone. Continuing meant risking worsening illness. Diaries describe tense moments when groups debated whether to wait or move forward. Sometimes families chose to stay behind temporarily. Others pushed on slowly, hoping recovery would come with time. Fatigue made everything harder. After weeks on the trail, exhaustion lowered resistance to illness. Long days walking beside wagons and sleeping in harsh weather weakened many travelers before sickness even began. Children and older adults suffered most. They recovered more slowly and depended heavily on care from others. Wagon trains often adjusted pace to help them keep moving. Yet even careful planning could not remove uncertainty, because the frontier demanded constant movement, even when people felt least able to continue. For many pioneers, the emotional strain of sickness stayed with them longer than the illness itself. Diaries describe quiet nights inside wagon circles, when entire camps listened for signs of recovery or decline. Fires burned low, conversations softened, even small improvements brought visible relief. But not every story ended well. Some travelers were forced to continue without members of their group. Trails across the frontier contain many small graves marking the cost of westward movement. These moments shaped how wagon trains traveled afterward. Groups became more cautious. Water sources were chosen carefully. Camps were organized with greater attention to cleanliness and spacing. Experience slowly improved survival. Yet fear never disappeared entirely, because every traveler understood something simple. On the frontier, illness was unpredictable. It did not matter how strong someone appeared or how carefully they prepared. Sickness could arrive suddenly and change the journey completely. And perhaps that is why pioneers feared illness more than many visible dangers. Storms passed. Trails continued. Rivers could be crossed. But sickness brought uncertainty no one could fully control. In the end, surviving the frontier often depended not only on endurance or courage, but on patience, cooperation, and care for one another. Thank you for watching Frontier History Archive, where we explore frontier history and life at the edge of civilization. Until next time, goodbye from Frontier History Archive.